Welcome, Gemini, to your love reading for November of 2018. So let's look into some energies that you might be experiencing. So 3 cards for the start of the month, the middle of the month, and towards the end. So Gemini love, what you might be going through. So focusing more on yourself right now, manifestation, where it comes to career, partner that you would like to get closer to. Some of you might have moved on from somebody that you were close with, living with, around, but now you might be kind of disconnecting but focusing more on yourself through the first part of the month. Now, the middle of the month, some of you might be dealing with an Aries, so mid-month or so there might be a struggle with trying to find your happiness and self-confidence. This is the energy of like, hey, I want it, but I can't really have it because I'm trying, but I'm really not emotionally fulfilled. And this is really, it's one person here, so it's really you. And a lot of you may need to watch things that you might do, things that might not be the healthiest for you because it could cause emotional blocks, missed opportunities, whatever it might be. Too much of a good thing could bring you down, so there might be some sadness or delay with you and someone else. All right, so let's see towards the end of the month for Gemini and love. So yes, get in your head, all right, and to the extreme. And this is almost like a energy for a lot of you is definitely focusing more on yourself right now, because the other person that you're dealing with, they might not be ready. Vice versa. I just let Taurus know this as well. And obsessive in your mind and not being able to see clear or really think clearly because you're not sure of what someone else's intentions might be, and that might be really bothering you. So we're going to do a 10-card Celtic cross spread for Gemini for November 2018. Gemini, November 2018. First go towards you, your response to life's outcome. 2018. Okay. So, yeah, lack of clarity, and you're finding troubles with ending something from someone. Even if you have ended something, they may not have let you know the reasons why they didn't want to move forward with you, the reasons why they said what they said, they don't respond, whatever it might be. You're not complete. And a lot of you, even if you need to end something with someone, you're still holding on to it. You're still holding on to the lack of clarity. So you might be really stressed out for a lot of you. Yeah, and it seems like you're stuck, all right? Holding on to the past and waiting for someone to either come back and to open up, but it might not be happening in the way that you want to. So there is a delay, all right? Aquarius, Libra, Gemini in the recent past, so someone may not have been communicating to you, and that's what's keeping you in your head, in your mind, and you feel like they may have been manipulating you. Now, I'm not sure if you felt like you had to do this to somebody else to kind of maintain the control in your situation, so that you don't kind of just give all of your power away to someone else that you may have been dealing with. But I feel like you got to be careful with that, because that can backfire on you if you were to kind of reflect that same kind of energy to that person. Hard to say, but I feel this is almost energy of restriction with the Hierophant being there. And sometimes these are energies of having to kind of just say, go to school, go to the gym, focus on other things, try to find some kind of sanctuary as you kind of try to relax your mind and detach from somebody who might be married. If you are married, some of you are trying to figure out whether or not to go through with the divorce or not, whether your partner is ready for it, or if you're going to work things out and get counseling to see if things could potentially get better for some. So there might be an obstacle there with that energy. And for the person coming towards you, they are conflictual, and I feel like that could be the stall or the reason why some of you might not be able to move on from someone, because of the threats of potential conflict, things that you really can't see. If you want to connect to somebody else, that's the reason why they might not be able to open up to you, because of the potential for conflict, and someone may not have been being honest about that. And you might try to your best to if you can't, it seems like if you can't manifest the desired person that you want, you might focus on someone that's been in your mind in the past that you might have been around. It could be a water sign, a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, but this is an energy of someone that might affect you in some way. All right, male or female. All right, their response. There is a choice. There is love there. That person that you're dealing with, I feel like they are going through something just as well as you are. I know that's been a theme for a lot of Geminis, where has either been a marriage or a relationship. Now, it's so many people going through different variations, but that seems to be something that's kind of cropping back up for a lot of you out there. Some of you might need to remove yourself from somebody that you may have been either living with, and if you have told your partner or your love interest that, hey, you were going to do this, that you were thinking about moving and relocating away from someone that you've been married to or in a long-term relationship with, a lot of you might need to get your own place. So that's the best approach, to take the necessary steps to go through that divorce or breakup with the Hierophant, Judgment, the World, the Lovers. Wow, you have all these major arcana showing up, and then the Hermit in reverse. So I feel 1111, I saw that showing up here, and that is where a lot of you are isolating yourself from somebody. You're not speaking to them, or you feel restricted right now, and that might be the necessary approach because of the conflict. Literally, fights or arguments or disputes, or the competition of somebody holding on and trying to keep you, or somebody trying to keep your love interest. That might be something that's there. In the meantime, Taurus had this too, with the Ace of Pentacles just showing up. The potential for some kind of commitment in the distant future, with the Ace of Pentacles being here. So either both of you work together, you're working on removing yourself as you save, and some of you might be thinking about reconciling your marriage or your relationship, giving another person a shot, but that might be hard to do because of the circumstances. Let's see. What about Judgment in reverse for Gemini? Yeah, that's like the wife. Taurus, it could be anyone, male or female, but that's like your preference, what you like. Sometimes you might not, be on the same level with you and your partner, the person that you might be into, the attraction, the chemistry, that energy might not really be there. Being able to communicate, go out, do different things, it may have kind of fallen away. So that might be an issue. Clarify the Hierophant for Gemini. You have the Four of Wands. That is marriage. Some of you are in a marriage and you're there and you're not moving on from it just yet. Others of you might be working towards saving so that you can get married to someone, or get in a relationship with them to start there. For some, clarify the Five of Wands. Yeah, a lot of disputes. Someone is like, in November, they may be kind of at you, trying to communicate, let you know what's going on. A lot of text messages or phone calls, and they could be very frustrated with what's going on. Seems like two people that you're dealing with. Some of you could be dealing with two different people. Clarify the Hermit in reverse for Gemini. Yeah, taking time for yourself for a lot of you. You're either doing this on purpose because you want to, or you really need to right now because of what's going on. Something from your past is definitely blocking you, and someone else's past. So let's see. Messages from Archangel Michael. Messages for Gemini for November 2018. So we have detached from the situation. It says, Archangel Michael, I ask you to use your flaming sword to cut any attachment to fear or drama, so that I may be centered in the knowingness that peace is everywhere within me and the situation. To me, there seems to be conflict that's there, that both of you, your love interest or your partner, both of you need to detach from that, because it could get very extreme. And sometimes we don't think about these things because just being nonchalant, like these things not going to happen to me. But sometimes you never know where certain people may have different psychological things that might be going on with their mind, and the way that they may respond to a love life situation could be very intense, depending on how you respond to them, letting someone down or something that has gone on, someone wanting revenge. These kind of things might pop up. And this is not a reading for fear. No, don't give in to that. But until you find clarity in everything that you need to know, what I'm telling you here is that you need to disconnect, try to do you. Focus on what you need to take care of, especially if it's a marriage. You don't want to just say, hey, I'm dropping this person, divorce, leaving them, and I'm going to somebody else the next day. You don't know how that other person is going to respond, especially if if you've been communicating with them in secret for a while and making plans to be with one another, and then you never know how that might happen. So I feel like a lot of you might be aware of what's going on. All right, so that's going to be a reading. Not the most positive, but I feel like you can turn it around once you get the advice from somebody to kind of let you know, hey, there's not a whole bunch of change that you can make with someone specifically, slowly, one day at a time. But to detach and try to have fun and do you, I feel like that's a really good thing, because now you know where you stand and what you really can do. So try to take heed and be cautious with that scenario. So much love to you, much light. I hope you enjoy the month, and you can always go to the website psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for you. Have a good one.